Now, it's time for History with Helmsford.
Oh, hello there. I'm Samson Helmsford. You know I've lived in the city of Sandbrisket all my life, but nobody really seems to know what the history of our fair city is, and I personally think that is a shame. Well, I've decided to tell the stories of this beautiful land starting right here at Parisius Memorial Park. For those of you not in the know, Parisius was a great and powerful wizard within the trash pile long ago. From what records of him remain today, it is believed that he even taught the current trash emperor, Strider, a thing or two. Now then, on to the park itself and why it is named after him. The park itself was originally just the statue of Parisius himself, which sits in the middle of the area. However, after the reconstruction of the city began, additions were made to it, such as several benches and a small playground for children to play in. Now, as for the reason why this park honors this man, it is believed that during the initial efforts to civilize Sandbrisket, Parisius gave his life to save Strider from a crazed warlord whose name has been lost to time. It is also believed that Strider considered him a good friend and commissioned the park to honor one of his closest allies. As for the current state of the statue of this hero to the pile, it is currently being kept in a state of arrested decay. After the Great Bot War and initial resettlement efforts, Parisius' statue was found to be almost entirely untouched, save for some damage to one of his arms and an armrest. It inspired the public so much that the Trasper ordered it to stay this way with only necessary maintenance to be done to it to ensure it wouldn't fall apart. Even so, the damage done to his memorial is a haunting reminder of that awful conflict. But it is also a reminder to every member of the pile that they are resilient and can survive almost any situation. It reminds me of another historical area within the beloved city. That place is none other than famous Ironside Wharf. Let's head over there next, shall we? Oh, yeah. Ironside Wharf! Originally, this part of town was a collection of abandoned machine shops for the former criminal gang and first real enemy of the trash pile, Wars of Blood. The fighting here was intense, but the pile soon won and took over this now peaceful, if slightly saddening, industrial sector for itself. Now then, let's talk about the canals that run through the wharf, as well as a bit about their history. Even well into the first few years of the Trashian Republic's existence, the waters of the canals had become contaminated by the various chemicals and bits of machinery the various gangs and bot forces used to wage war on one another. Recently, however, the waters of the canals were purified to drinking quality thanks to the efforts of several of the pile's allies. This included the Temple of Zonnery, which dealt with the hostile wildlife within the canals. These days, the canals, especially those overlooking the wharf itself, are a popular relaxation spot for both tourists and civilians alike. Fishing is also legal within the canals, though few fish seem to swim through these days. As for the name of this town, it dates back to just after the Trashian Republic was founded. When the Republic was founded, they figured that many of the high-ranking officers within its military structure would have to be given lands of their own within the city to shape as they saw fit. This area was given to one General Ironside by the Trasper himself. We'll learn more about the general shortly. Now then, enough stalling. Let's get to talking about the history of the town. Oh look, it's the two guardians of industry. What's special about these statues is that they were made to show off this area's thriving industry, as can be seen in their construction. Oh, now here's a rare sight in the wharf these days, a still-operating manufacturing and shipping center. See that cylinder-looking structure with all the blue computer bits in it? That's a reborn core. Reborn are basically robots with the personalities and souls of organic beings who've been inducted into their program. General Ironside himself actually brought the technology over, and it has been used by the pile ever since. The reborn are quite beneficial, especially here, given the area's sad state. There's a reason I mentioned why this building here was such a rare sight within the wharf, one I will talk about now. Throughout the years, this area has seen quite a bit of armed conflict, and as such, much of the buildings here have become highly dangerous. Be it from multiple machine failures to highly lethal chemicals that cannot be vented properly or some other issue, many of these buildings have been shuttered for the foreseeable future. This includes the former home and office of the current Trasper Regent, Demo McSheep. On top of that, the Trashian Disease Containment Agency discovered that several buildings are infected by a strange form of mold called Mesingza, which appears to be rainbow-colored and causes folks to go blind with enough exposure. Truly, this place has killed many and left many more without jobs, forcing some to turn time in order to live. May the trashmen have mercy on the souls who have lived and continue to live here. However, among the places that have remained safe and open for use is the Sandbrisket City Hall. It serves as the primary meeting center for politics and other events as needed. Let's head inside. As you can see, it is rather dark in here. That's due to this place not being used often. However, it is still ready to serve as a spot for a person to give a speech such as Mayor Bobby or Untitled. However, there isn't much to see here. Let's continue on to one final location, shall we? For our last place of interest for this episode, I thought it'd be interesting to take a trip to our new studio. It's actually quite an interesting sight, if I do say so myself. Now, while I can't show you the inside just yet due to it being under construction, I can tell you a bit about it. You see, this place used to be Sandbrisket's radio, which played all manner of music and spoke out against certain groups that threatened our way of life. However, after the Great Bot War, the station's parent company was absorbed into the Trash Pile Broadcasting Company itself. Actually, during the Great Bot War, the area was converted into an anti-air hardpoint for the Pile's military. If surviving records from survey teams that came to assess the damages to the city are to be believed, the forces stationed here destroyed at least 12 squadrons of Tron-class bot transport ships, no doubt saving countless lives during the evacuation. Yes, the evacuation? I can still hear her. Susan, my beloved. Die. I believe that is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for tuning in, and be safe. This is Samson Helmsford for the Trash Pile Broadcasting Company signing off.